Well, an excellent question, listener, and one as old as the fight game itself. With Chiwiwi, is it back there? Raul Rojas. He's a lot of fun, right? He's very charismatic. And even though he might not be handsome, right, he has that star quality that attracts people. And so the question is, how does the USC maintain that, maintain him winning, get him into a championship to maintain what effectively is an investment, right? And that's as old as the game itself. Now, people, a lot of you kids won't remember this, but there was a great white hope boxer named Jerry Cooney. You know, a white guy had held the title in, I don't know, 20 years or something. And we're in the 80s, and Cooney is a huge Irishman. And they supposedly protected him his whole career. Now, he knocked out Ken Norton, who was one of the great champs to come out of the 70s, gave Muhammad Ali a lot of trouble. And then Jerry Cooney was matched with Larry Holmes. And even though he was winning the fight or it was very close, going into like the 13th round or whatever it was, Holmes finally knocked him out. And then Cooney kind of made a career of whining about how they didn't match him right. If they had given someone him tougher, he would have developed better. And they said, well, who did you want to fight? He said, I don't know, anyone, Pinklin Thomas. And this becomes a big thing in fighting, right? But the reality is that's just not how things work. Why? Because the managers have an investment in your career, right? Like very likely someone's supporting the career and they want you to win to get you in a position to make the most amount of money possible. I say this ad nauseum, but Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. is a prime example. The guy could not fight his way out of a paper bag, but guess what? They positioned him to get a world title somewhat suspiciously, and then he almost knocked out the lineal champion of the world. And that's what a manager's job is, right? To bring out the best in their protege or whoever they're managing. And in Julio Cesar Chavez's case, they did a heck of a job. Now, for Raul Rojas, what do they need to do? It's very tough, guys, because especially in the UFC, everybody's a killer. And what they've done with Paddy Pimblett, I think you've seen this. They matched Paddy with a couple guys that were lower tier, and he almost lost, right? And now what they're recognizing is, what's the point? You know, everybody's got two arms, two legs. If he loses to one of those lower guys, it's a really bad thing. Why don't we match him with Michael Chandler, who's gone about 500 in the UFC? If he beats Chandler, he's arrived, right? He's beaten a contender, like a top 5 guy in people's minds, top 10 guy at least now, even with those losses. You know, maybe with Rojas, they're going to try to do that, right? Like after this next fight, maybe they'll give him somebody a little bit tougher. I know that they just lost out. What's that kid's name? Everybody, Peyton Talbot. You know, they love him. I guess they matched him against a grappler that he couldn't handle. And that's what you want to avoid, is mismatching a guy. And I think they've done a good job of trying to keep these guys in the winning track. But at the end of the day, nobody can protect you in that cage or that ring. You know, you got to go out there fight against a guy who's got 2 arms, 2 legs too. And yeah, this is a game as old as time. Why? Because a fight game is part business and it's part show business, right? And there it is. Everybody read my book, Warrior of the